Good morning. Good morning. I am Pernella Harris, licensed clinical social worker with Restorative Family Services, and you guys are here at Rise and Reset. So let's wait for a couple people to get on. When you get in the room, say hello, good morning. I know you guys are just getting off of a holiday weekend. Memorial Day was yesterday, so go ahead. Good morning, Thamar. Good morning, Stephanie. Oh, you guys are troopers. You guys are up early with me. Rise and shine. All right. So I don't believe Stephanie. Thamar, you were the first to get on, but I actually am going to reward both of you for getting up early. So both of you will get a $10 CVS gift card. So thanks for getting up. Good morning, Michael. All right. So, how was your weekend, Stephanie and Thamar? Did you make it different this Memorial Day? How did you do yesterday? What did you do yesterday? I should ask. Good morning, Sandy. Thanks for getting up. You guys are troopers. I'm so excited. You guys, after a holiday, are up early with me, so I do appreciate it. Do not ever think that I don't appreciate you guys spending your mornings with me. I am thankful for the support, so thank you. Good morning, Debbie. Debbie Mancuso is up. All right, so tell me what you guys did yesterday. Did you put some food on the grill? Did you just sleep in? What did you do to celebrate this time around? Oh, Famer says Stephanie was on before her. Okay, well, you both still are the first winners, so I'm giving it to both of you. So I'm feeling generous today. So both of you get $10 in CVS gift cards. So tell me what you guys did. Let me tell you what I did. This weekend was pretty busy. We are expanding our practice. So shout out to my husband, Michael. He has been working around the clock trying to get all of the furniture mantled and put together. So that's pretty much what we've been doing all week. We're excited. Once, we start seeing individuals, it will be in a bigger space, a new space, and we're able to reach more people. So I'm excited about the good things happening for Restorative Family Services. All right. So Sandy says she spent the weekend with family outdoors in the backyard. That's nice. Leonette, good morning. Leonette says, I rested up yesterday so I could get to participate this morning. Thank you, guys. Thamar says, spend much needed time with family, grilled, and just out with family. Great. Stephanie says, got some cleaning done and we opened the bounce house. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. All right. Well, I am going to go ahead and start my watch party here. So give me a minute, guys, and I will be right there. I'm trying to, there we go. That way I can follow along in real time. All right, so you guys know what we're doing today. We are talking about boundaries. Oh my God, today's topic is going to really open your eyes to some boundaries. So let me go ahead. Today we are talking, let's shut that on. Okay. All right, so today we are continuing our discussion on boundaries. So welcome for everyone who just joined. I'm Pernella Harris. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and owner of Restorative Family Services. And you're tuning into Rise and Reset. And what we do is we get up 7:30 on Tuesday, early in the morning, to provide encouragement, inspiration, and we also are providing education on how to live a healthier, happier life. So today we're covering boundaries. This is a 3-part series. You are in the second part. So everyone can go ahead and watch the video from last week to catch up on boundaries. But definitely tune in, pull your seat close, get your beverage. I got my beverage. And let's chat. Let's talk. All right. So I want to, in this session, I want to talk about, we've talked about self-care, we've talked about boundaries. Now, when you start to implement boundaries, it will not be comfortable. It will actually be very uncomfortable because you have never done this, and you're going to feel a little unsure. You're going to feel like you're being mean to people, and the people that you're setting boundaries, they're not going to like it either. They're going to give you a lot of pushbacks because they have been used to you doing everything. They have been used to you not having good boundaries. They have been used to you managing their own stress. So when you start to take back, that means they have to step up, and that's not always met with a warm welcome. So today I'm going to talk to you about 7 tactics that individuals will do to get you to abandon your boundaries, to get you to say, you know what, this boundary in business is too hard. I'm gonna keep it the way it is. I'm not gonna ruffle any feathers. I'm just gonna keep things the way they are. Give me thumbs up if you know what I'm talking about. Let me see. So I need to see some hearts, some thumbs up. Let me know you're awake. You know, you could be just sleeping on me. I don't want you sleeping on me. So give me some thumbs up if you're understanding what I'm saying. There we go. We got some thumbs up. That's right. Okay, so you guys are with me. You definitely are with me. All right, great. Everybody's awake. That's great. That's great. Okay, so there are 7 tactics. There are more, but there are 7 tactics we're going to talk about today. Manipulative tactics that people will do once you start to enforce your boundaries. Once you start to set healthy boundaries, these are some things that you might come across. Okay. The first one is gaslighting. Now, gaslighting is when someone tries to manipulate you to thinking that your boundaries are ridiculous. Uh, they may say something like, that's ridiculous. You're overreacting. No one will see it that way. You know, Another way of gaslighting is to really some people will even excuse me, some people will even say, oh no, that didn't happen. When did that happen? And then you're sat there like, it did happen, didn't it? I was there. And they're just saying, no, it didn't. That's not what happened. And so you start to question your own reality. So the term gaslighting comes from a movie. It's a movie done in the 1920s or so, where gaslights were how you lit your home. And so the movie has this husband and wife, and the husband, once the woman would go upstairs, the husband would turn off or flicker the gas light. And so the woman is seeing like the lights flicker. She would come down and say, did you see that? And he says, no, I don't know what happened. You must be imagining it. And she ended up losing her mind in the film. So that's what gaslighting is. It is to get you to question your reality. It's to really make you feel like, am I sure about this? Question, second guess yourself. Okay. So that's gaslighting. Pay attention because there will be a quiz. All right. So number 2, that's supposed to say intimidation. That is intimidation. Let me fix that. Okay. So number 2 is intimidation or domination. Okay. So you might be upset. Somebody may have done something to you and you want to confront them and set a boundary and say, you know what? I really was a little offended by you calling me that name. And so what they will do is they will use intimidation. So you're upset about this, but then they will blow it out of proportion. They will use so much hostility towards you to get you to back down away from your boundary. You say, you know what? I don't really want to deal with all that. So I'm just not even going to say anything. I'm just not even going to bring it up. I'm not even going to confront that person. So that's using intimidation to get you to abandon your own boundary. So, you know what? I'm just going to have to deal with the bad behaviors. I'm just going to have to deal with the name calling, because if I confront them, they will blow up, and it will be a bigger problem than what I want to deal with. Thumbs up if you're hearing this. Give me a thumbs up in the comments. I like interaction. I like people talking to me. So let me know uh, what you're thinking if you're getting this. All right, Leonette says, I got some thumbs up. Debbie, Leonette, Sandy, Leonette says, yeah, said, sad. Stephanie, it's our first step to oh, she's telling me about the trampoline. Great. All right. I'm seeing some emotions in the comments. Thank you. All right. Great. Thanks, guys. Serious stuff, Leonette says. All right. So 1 was gaslighting, 2 was intimidation. Now we're at 3. 3 is derailment. This is when you set a boundary with someone, or you confront someone, and they kind of just derail the conversation. And then, they start saying stuff like, well, what about me? And you did this to me. And now, by the end of it all, you end up owing them an apology because you weren't able to stay on track. And so this is why I'm covering these things, because I want you guys to be able to identify it when it happens. So derailment is you bring up a situation, you probably should have called me if you were going to be late from work. And so the derailment is, well, I had a rough day, and you just don't understand the stress that I'm going through. And now it's a pity party about them rather than about the issue that you intended it to be. And so in that situation, I want you to just take a break. Of course, all right, we can't move further, but then bring it back up at a later time. So don't forget about your boundary. Just, put a pause on it because this person isn't ready to hear it, and then come back and revisit the boundary. All right. So I'm going to park it right here. I covered 3 of the 7 that I have. I want to hear from you guys. Have you experienced anyone gaslighting, intimidation, derailment? Have you used that on anyone? Let's talk about it. Go ahead and put that in the comments and give me an example of a time where you were either gaslighted or you gaslighted someone else without knowing. You were intimidated, or you were derailed, or vice versa, if that has happened to you. So the purpose, and I don't want you to think that these people who are doing these things are out to get you, or they're intentionally doing. They may not even know. They may have just grown up with these toxic behaviors, and this is how they solve problems. And so until you start to educate them, and so you start to inform them of what it is that you would like to see different, then that discussion won't change. So that's why we're bringing it up today. So tell me, have you guys experienced anything like this? Have you experienced gaslighting? Have you experienced intimidation or domination? Have you experienced derailment, where you bring up an issue and the person makes it about what that you don't understand, and they start blaming you, or they're somehow needing you to meet their needs rather than them trying to come to a place and meet your needs? So tell me what you guys think about that. For those of you who are watching while we're waiting on comments, this is Rise and Reset, and I am Pernella Harris, licensed clinical social worker, and I'm just bringing out nuggets on how to spot individuals using manipulative tactics. And these tactics are usually to control you. So boundaries, we set boundaries. We want to create more independence in our relationship. We want to get our needs met in our relationships. We are letting people know how we want to be treated. And some people won't like that. Some people will try to manipulate and control us and try to get us to abandon our boundaries. And so what we have to do is be aware that these things are happening, and then come up with strategies on what we're going to do to respond to those. Okay. All right. I don't see any comments. Any? Can, all right. You guys let me know if you have any examples. Oh, the comments just came in. Okay. We are on a delay. So I do apologize. They all came in at like once. All right. So let's see what we have here. Let's go through it. Okay. So Leonette says, let me just, I could actually, I'm going to post that. So my son told me I left the light on. He was playing, but I had to explain to him how hurtful mind games can be. All right, very good. So I'll give you an example of a boundary that I had this week. So this week, I told you we were at the office, and I had taken, the kids have been staying in the house a lot. So I take them, every other day. I try to take them out. We go for a drive. So I took them to get ice cream, and then we went to help with the furniture and the relocation. And my son just wanted to get back to his video game. And so he would just come like, when are we leaving? When are we leaving? When are we leaving? So we ended up staying for a very long time. And he was very upset, very upset. I mean, to the point of crying, like, with the snot and the eyes. It's just, he was doing too much. So on our way home, it was like 8 o'clock. We did stay out a long time. He just was crying. And I said, well, sometimes we have to get things done. We can't live our lives surrounded around Fortnite. And he cried, and I allowed it. I allowed him to cry. I didn't feel the need to make him feel better or anything like that. And by the end of the night, he gave me a kiss and went to bed. Forgot about it. But that's an example of a boundary, because I got to let him sit with that discomfort. I got to let him sit with that. It's not my job to make him feel better every time he's disappointed. It's disappointing. He wanted to play his video game, but we had other things to do. So that's an example of setting a healthy boundary and just letting it be. Let him drain off. Let him do what he needed to do. Good morning, Nicola. Thanks for watching. All right, guys. I'm going to get into the next three. So for those of you who are just joining, we are covering boundaries. This is Rise and Reset, and we're covering boundaries and how people will try to get you to abandon your boundaries. All right, so we are on number 4, ultimatum. This one, when someone issues you an ultimatum, it's usually you either do this or else this will happen. There will be a consequence of some sort that you're not going to be pleased with. So what this is really intended to do is to make you feel guilty, and fearful, so that you back away from your boundary. So this happens. I see this. I'll give an example of ultimatum. So my daughter has been playing Fortnite, and my son will say to her, she wants to play with someone. So my son will say to her, well, if you don't do this, if you don't give me some of your candy, I am going to unfriend you. And that, she starts sharing things, and, we're still working on her boundaries. But that's an example of an ultimatum, is either do this, either comply with what I want you to do, or else. And if you're very sensitive to people pleasing, you don't want anyone to be mad at you. So you're going to do and comply and capitulate to what it is that they want you to do. All right. So that is number 4, ultimatum. Number 5 is pressure. narrow time restraints. You need to make a decision now. There's not a lot of time to make this decision, and you start to feel pressured. And that is intended to not give you a lot of time to think about it, not to consult anyone. It's really so that you can act in a way that this person wants you to act. So you feel pressured and you don't have a lot of time to think about or weigh the pros and cons of whether this decision is going to be good for you. You'll see this happen with when you go in to buy a new car or a used car, like that pressure, like, well, we only have 3 on the lot, or if you don't make this decision now, it's not going to be there. So the way to handle this situation is just to stop and walk away. Just stop, walk away, give yourself that time. Even though that person is pressuring you, you just have to stop and walk away. All right, give me thumbs up if you understand what I'm putting down here. You understand what I'm, any thumbs up. Okay, so let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. All right. Good morning, Pamela. Pamela's watching. Good morning. Okay, thank you. I see some thumbs up. Thank you, Michael, for giving me some thumbs up. All right, so Leonette, let's see. I see, okay. So Thamar says, I set a boundary with my kids regarding taking food and drinks to their game room. My son really tried to first negotiate the terms. Let's see. Then he tried to convince me that he needed to eat and has to bring it with him. Kids are smart, aren't they? So that's good. Mom is setting boundaries. All right, Leonette says, I'll be chewing on this all day. All right. Stephanie says, I was about to say that. All right, great. I got some thumbs up. Great job. Thumbs up. I like thumbs. All right. Tamar says, this is very interesting. Thank you guys for the feedback. Yeah, I like to know that you guys are still out there. I like the interaction. Talk to me. Talk to me. All right. So let's move on. All right. So we have the next tactic, manipulative tactic, is help on a string. So visualize this. Visualize you're fishing, and you put the little bait on the hook, and it is to attract fish. So that it's like a fishing technique. They see the little thing in there, and the fish go up and they bite it. And that's exactly what help on a string is like. Help on a string is offering to help and assist, but in your mind wanting to collect later. So it's like, okay, well, I helped you with that. So now I'm going to use that emotional guilt that, hey, I have been helping and assisting to either gain insight into what it is that you're doing, or have a role as to, or have some influence on what kind of decisions you're making over this process, or to get you to do a favor for them sometime to be disclosed. So that one is often very used, often, because people will sometimes help without the right intention, help to control, or help to influence in some kind of way, or help to collect. So really being mindful of what the intentions of the help is. Like, okay, don't do something and then have this unspoken contract that you are looking for me to meet some need in the near future, and you're going to use this help as a carrot, like the bait and switch of the fishing scenario. So, all right. Now I'm going to park it here. We got one more to go. I'm going to park it here, but let me know, have you experienced any of them? So far, I've covered 6. Number 1 was gaslighting. Number 2, intimidation. Number 3, derailment. Number 4, giving an ultimatum. Number 5 was narrow and time restraints, pressure. Number 6 was help on a string, where they help with some strings attached. Um, let me know if any of you have encountered any of these manipulative tactics, or maybe you don't have those type of people, and that's good. If you don't have those type of people in your life, that's great. You're doing a good job with setting boundaries. All right, so Sandy says that is not help. Yep, you're right, Sandy. That is not help. Excuse me, that's negotiation. Yes, Sandy. Yep, you're absolutely right. Some people will use help and benevolence or altruism as a way to crack open the door of a boundary so that they could open it up wider and wider and wider. So it's good to just know about that and be mindful that that could happen. All right. Any other examples out there? Any other individuals who have experienced either someone trying to help, someone trying to pressure you? You usually see the pressure around the holiday where, people are trying to sell you things, and they're, it's not going to be, this offer won't last long. It's a persuasion tactic. So you make that decision right now. Okay. All right. So I actually told you I had 7, but I actually have a bonus one for you guys. So, all right, I am going to move on to the next one. Tap on an insecurity. Now, this type of manipulative tactic is when someone understands how you identify yourself. So you might identify yourself as a good mom, a good wife, you know, a, a a good Christian, a good servant, a good employee, but your identity is important to you. And so, what this tapping on the insecurity is, well, a good wife would do this, or a good employee would do this, or a good friend would do that. It's really creating judgment in a comparative state where you're somehow, because you have this boundary, because you won't do this certain thing, that you're somehow flawed and not a good wife, or you maybe you don't hear the word good in front of it. Maybe you just hear, oh, such and such wife, or such and such mom, or this employee did this. But anytime there is a comparison, there's usually meant to subliminally cut down the next person or the other person, and make them feel bad and make them feel guilty, and make the case that you're somehow depriving that person of something. And if you have this need to please others, you don't want anyone to be upset with you, so you give in and you capitulate and acquiesce to whatever it is they want to do, because you want to be looked at in their eyes as the good wife, the good employee, the good husband, the good whatever. And so, how you would deal with that is just remind yourself of who you are, and let that be. The people who see you for what you are and see the complete picture of who you are the ones you want to spend more time with. And the others who only see you as what need you can meet for them, you might have to reevaluate those relationships. Okay. All right. So I am going down to number 8. Oh, sorry. Number 8. That was number 8. Okay. So number 8 is projection. And projection is a manipulative tactic that in which another individual has a manipulative tactic in which the individual attributes characteristics they find unacceptable within themselves to another person. So here's an example. Let's say a friend has a hostile nature and may attribute it to you, and say that you need anger management. But they're typically the one who is very hostile. And when you get upset or you react to their hostility, it's, see, you got anger problems. Something wrong with you. So that is projection. And that could be used just like gaslighting to really start to undercut your reality. Like, am I being a little hostile, or am I just, reacting to the hostility? So it's really getting to know one, who you are, and taking a step back to look at the dynamics, to look at what's really going on, and don't engage. Don't try to defend yourself, because that's what we want to do. We want to convince them how we are this and that. We get on the defense, and then, we start getting angry, and then we blow up and we're starting to foam at the mouth because we're yelling, and, so just sit with that. And again, the same kind of thing, just reassuring, showing yourself some compassion, reassuring yourself of who you are, and not trying to argue if they don't see who you are. It's something that they have to work on, but you just keep doing what you do and being who you are. All right. So if you understand what I am putting down, let me know. Give me a thumbs up in the comments. If you've experienced any of those, let me know an example that you have gone through. All right. So for anyone new who has just joined us, I am Pernella Harris, and this is Rise and Reset. Every Tuesday at 7:30, we get up bright and early, and we share wellness tips. We connect with each other. We inspire each other, so that we can reset and get through our day. Today, we are covering part 2 of boundaries, and we just went over the 7 manipulative tactics that someone will do to get you to abandon your boundary. All right. So the key takeaways for today is that boundaries must be enforced consistently. At first, it might feel uncomfortable, but making this your new habit, sticking with it until it does become comfortable to set boundaries. You'll notice your self-confidence will rise through the roof. You notice you'll start to attract healthier relationships when you start to have healthy boundaries, and people will start to treat you differently because they now understand what it is that you need to thrive. So I really want you to focus on maintaining, being consistent with your boundaries. I'm going to review what those boundaries are. All right. So number 1, we have gaslighting. I'm sorry, not the boundaries. I'm reviewing what the manipulative tactics are. So number 1, we have gaslighting. 2, intimidation. 3, derailment. 4, ultimatum. 5, narrow and time constraints. 6, help on a string. 7, tap on an insecurity. 8 is projection. Okay, so what I want to do now is, if you guys have liked this series, if you are liking the boundaries and you want to know more about boundaries, I want to invite you to my boundary bootcamp. Now, this is a group that is launching on June 4th. So registration is now open for that group. It's a virtual group where we will be within a HIPAA compliant platform, and we will be video conferencing one another, learning and digging into more deeply setting boundaries, understanding the thought patterns of shame-based thinking that undercuts boundaries or poor boundaries, understanding codependency, toxic relationships, and then how to respond rather than react to people who violate your boundaries. So if you're interested in that, you can go to our website. You click on services, go down to the group link, and then you would find more information about the boundary group, how to register. Cost for group is $40 per session, and it's a 60-minute group. So you would go ahead and get all your contact information onto the website, and one of our administrators will give you a call to get you all set up for that group. All right. I hope that you have been really benefiting from what we're putting out, the information, the inspiration over the last couple of weeks. I read an article that, we're having an uptick. We're going to have an uptick in mental health issues with dealing with COVID. So I'm glad that you guys are a part of this community. Please, if you know someone who can benefit from our services, share out this page. Help us grow this community. Help us reach more people so that at least your friends are coming along with you and going to get through this well and taken care of. All right, so here's how you can find us, more information. We are on our website is www.restorativefamilyservices.com. We are on Facebook at Restorative FS, Instagram at Restorative Family, and YouTube at Restorative Family Services. So I hope that you guys connect and keep sharing. All right, so before we leave today, it's riddle time. Get ready. All right, so here's the riddle. Where can you find cities, towns, shops, and streets, but no people? First one to get this riddle correctly wins a $10 CVS gift card. So who knows the answer? Get your thumbs ready. Good morning, Nicole. I'm glad you liked it. Nicole, thank you. All right, so who has the answer to this riddle? All right, who's our winner for today? Oh, Leonette, she's got it. That is the answer. All right. Here we go. So the answer is a map. Congratulations, Leonette. I will go ahead and ship that $10 out to you. All right. Well, it's been a pleasure. Please meet me here Tuesday. We're covering the last installment of Boundaries Tuesday at 7:30. I love to see you in the room. Make sure you say hello when you get here. All right. Have a productive and wonderful week. Take care.